All right, guys, what's going on? Brian back with another episode of our State of Decay 2 new player guided walkthrough. I hope everybody's having a great day. So guys, at this point in the playthrough, I've showed you guys a lot of the ins and outs, you know, the starter stuff. We went around, we did some play carts, and we're getting to the point in the game where, as a newer player, you got some choices. You know, a lot of this will probably be a little slower pace for you guys. But where I'm at currently, if you look at my resources, because it's always one of those things, where do I go next? What do I do next? The difficulty of the game will generally dictate how fast you do something or how good you are at the game. Now, as you guys can see, my resources are all good. I am a bit low on fuel, but that's just because I spent a bunch. Here in about 21 seconds, I'm actually going to activate this fuel tank tower here. I'm going to show you guys how that works and get that number up. But right now I'm like, okay, what do I need in the game? What do I do? You know what I mean? And obviously the main goal of your playthrough is to clear the play cards. And that's what we're going to do today. I mean, I have nothing else that I need right now. Resource wise, we're good. We got a bunch of, we have no missions to do right now. We've done everything with pretty much all of these enclaves around. And at this point, let's take the fight to the play carts. I have resources. So that's the one thing. If you are going to go and take on play carts, just make sure you have some stuff. And as you guys see here, I still had some bloater gas left. I had some fire left, a few grenades, some pipe bombs, some thermite. And we're just going to make use of this stuff because I have it. Now, if you don't have this stuff, then yeah, go ahead. And I'm actually going to swap out those thermite grenades for these Willy Pete's. Now, these Willy Pete's I got from breaking down this just now. That's why I swapped to them. And as you can see, we've got some resources from it. I believe you get an M4 from it. Check here. Yep, right here. So you got an M4A1. You get some materials and a few different resources. So those Willy Pete grenades that you get out of that, those are play cart killers, guys. I'm actually going to showcase those today. But now that that's done, like I told you, this watchtower here, as long as you have base power, you come over, you activate this. It takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds for it to go through. Once that goes through, you're going to see this fuel number jump up by 15. So we're going to siphon all that fuel out, and we're good to go, guys. We're good to go. Now, there's a few things I haven't done yet, like promoted a leader. And I want to see what is Perez's builder. So what I could do is, you know,
Hey, neighbor,
we'll hold off.
Can you spare anyone to help us out?
Okay, so my allies are asking for a little bit of food. So I'm actually gonna run some over to them, but I'm not gonna grab it on my supply. I'll stop at a store on the way there and loot it out.
Time for me to get back out there.
Because I am absolutely balling out of control, I haven't used a single repair kit this whole playthrough. I'm gonna polish up our car. Just because we can.
All this weight's gonna slow me down.
But yeah, so there's a couple different things you can do. If you wanted to move somewhere else, you know, to a bigger base, like, you know, down here or over here, obviously you just have to clear out those play carts and you'll be able to move in. But the medium tier bases on this map are actually really good because you get 2 large slots, bunch of small slots, and some pretty decent built-ins. The other base over here is a little bit more customizable. It doesn't have as many built-ins. This one here. And it's really, really good too. So you can easily finish the game out of these 2 bases. Easily. They're comparable to some of the endgame bases in the other maps. And then the high tier bases down here, you don't need them. If you are interested in seeing what they are, you can obviously move in and check them out. But you don't need to do it by any means. All right, so let's go do this food thing real quick. As you guys can see, our truck is now nice and repaired. I'm gonna stop by this grocery store really quick, get a bag of food and bring it to our allies.
Hey, I've got a deal to offer. Can we talk?
Ooh, Wow. Man, talk about luck, dude. This mission is amazing. I believe it was last episode or the episode before I was talking to you guys about the biochem station. Kind of sucks because I didn't bring a non-heavy weapon, but this guy has powerhouse, so he can
Almost down.
he can fight like this. So these are the sick doctors that are hitting us up, asking us if we can go retrieve a plague cure for them. Now that's where you actually get the biochem crafting station from. Let's grab this food real quick and then we'll talk to them afterwards. It's on me for not clearing out the building before I started looting, but I'm kind of in a rush.
I think I might keep
It is. But being in a rush shouldn't mean getting sloppy. So that's just bad on me. I'm not trying to shoot. I'm not trying to do any of that right now. I want to try to keep my, So we're going to be doing these play carts in stages. Like, I don't need to carry all that on me at the moment. Come to them. Tell you right here. Okay, talk to Kimmy. Kimmy.
No, I'm fine, really. Just vomiting blood. Nothing to see here.
Now she's saying we're all dying of blood plague. We called in a supply drop to get some cure. So if you accept this, guys, this is a mission you always want to do. It is so good. This biochem crafting station. Somebody pointed out in the comments that you don't like. Oh, it's not as niche as you say, because you can just get the biochem crafting from Trumbull Valley. True, but new players aren't going to be playing on Trumbull Valley. That map is quite advanced. The starter base is absolute garbage. This playthrough is to focus on your first ever playthrough of the game. Yes, you can go play on Trumbull Valley, get the landmark outpost, which is something we actually haven't talked about, but that's more advanced stuff. And Trumbull Valley is a rough map to play on for sure. The zombie density is very, very high. It's a fun map, but I definitely would not advise it as your first map to play on. So this plague cure is what they want. I got extra bloater gas grenades, which is kind of insane, but that's going to help out for our plague carts.
This must be what we're looking for.
This is the biochem station, which allows you to craft scent block, bloater gas, zombie, a bunch of different things. And yeah, you get it from this mission right here. So let's store this stuff in the trunk. Go drop off this plague cure. And then we'll go drop off that food. And I've had a couple of people pointing out the difficulty that I'm playing on. I'm playing... Oh, yep, there it is.
Oh God.
I can't keep going.
I'm just gonna flame on these guys.
Fire in the hole!
Fuck, I don't want to die.
I got
I really don't want to rise. Don't even know what to say. Thank you.
Oh, see, now these people actually had a bunch of biochem items on them and a Soviet PPSH. That's crazy.
Heavy.
Let's see. Might have some space. Yeah, I got some outpost space. Let's do an outpost here really quick. Sometimes the buildings will like kind of be locked out because of the enclave. You got to like go out and back in. Sometimes you got to go pretty far away, but there it is. It's enough.
Looks like we can breathe easy for a bit.
Turn off the... It's driving me crazy. But I've had people pointing out the difficulty I'm playing on. As you guys know, I am a Lethal Zone player. I've played beyond Lethal Zone on modded difficulties and stuff like that. I played the game at its hardest. I was the co-creator of the Dark Side mod, which is one of the hardest mods that this game... so I understand I'm playing on Standard Zone. And if that's an issue for you, this guide isn't for you. That's not... This guide is literally tailored for new players. Like that's... Like, who have never played State of Decay before. I'm kind of just showing them the ropes. But yeah, if you're like, dude, this, like, why are you playing on, like, then this guide isn't for you. This isn't an advanced guide to State of Decay. This isn't a Lethal Zone guide or anything like that. This is just to help people out who have never played the game before. I have done Lethal Zone guides and stuff like that in the past. I was thinking about doing one for this update. I don't know if it's really necessary. I'm still kind of thinking on it. But yeah, if you're one of the players who are like, this guide is pretty basic or whatever, yeah, that's the point.
Where am I gonna put that?
That's the whole purpose of it, is to be basic and for brand new people. So we got that all looted out. But even with it being more basic, I have had people, you know, who have experience, other Lethal Zone players that said that they've, you know, watched the guide and they've still learned stuff. So that's awesome, you know, that the guides, even though it is mainly targeted towards new players, that it's able to help, you know, even some of you more advanced players, because that was not the intent. So I am wasting my Powerhouse Survivors awakeness right now, but the play cards that I plan on going to hit right now don't really require me to use my heavy weapon because I'm going to be using other methods. So if he gets tired, it's not a big deal. But if you are newer to my channel and really haven't seen a lot of my State of Decay content, and this guide was kind of one of the first things you've seen somehow, go check out the channel. There is tons of Lethals. Like I own, like when I play the game for real, I only play on Lethal Zone. So there's a ton of Lethal Zone content. I just did a Lethal Zone series with this new update, showcasing how to not get a single siege for the whole playthrough. Or have to worry about infestations or anything like that. I just did a full series of that.
I'm glad you could help.
All right,
Take care now.
So now we just maintain allies, which is awesome.
I got some stuff to trade.
Sure,
See if they have
sounds good.
anything for sale.
That's the last one.
All right, so now let's get to work, guys. Let's get to work. So we're gonna start off by heading down to this town here. We're gonna work on these two play cards. Now, we're gonna use the same methods I showed you guys before. I got bloater gas. I got some flares on me. So as you guys know, these play cards will be quite easy with this method. Got an outpost right here, yep. Just need to grab a few more flares. So I could set off 3 bloater bombs with flares. Any more than that, we'll have to use another method. Firecrackers, Molotovs, something like that. We are going to need fuel at some point. Now, I'm thinking that we're going to be getting to the point with these plague hearts where ferals will start showing up. In the higher difficulties, after like on lethal zone, I think after you're like your 2nd or 3rd plague hearts, ferals start showing up. And then it gets to the point where you'll get 1 or 2 ferals every phase of the plague heart. I'm not exactly sure how it works on this difficulty, though. We're going to find out, though. We're going to learn today. Yep. And right into that. Made some changes, so I'm hoping that the video quality looks a little better for you guys. I was watching back some of my other streams. I was like, man, why do these look so like fragmented and blocky and like blurry? I think it was how I had my settings, so definitely let me know what you guys think if it looks a little bit better for you. Should be in 1440 also.
By the smell, there's either a slaughterhouse or a plague heart nearby.
Yeah, I was using my stream settings for my videos, and yeah, they're can't do that.
We're running low on materials for building our zombie traps. We need some supplies.
Good van right there.
I'm not sure about this one.
This is the 4-door van. Most vans in the game only have 2 doors. Oh, that gas can came in clutch because we actually needed some fuel for this. All right. Quick and easy. It's the one thing I dislike about heavy weapons right there is what just happened right there should never happen. 3-4 hits with a heavy weapon.
This thing is heavy.
Should be all right. Let's get in, get this flare down with this bloater gas. Now this building here is actually one of the ones that you can't bloater gas all that effectively. You can get one through the window here. It's a little finicky though, guys. So I would advise on a building like this to not bloater gas it. So good thing I brought other methods of plague heart killing with me. Go ahead and use the white phosphorus. We're out there in white phosphorus. So that's why I was saying there's no like one way to do anything. Like you'll run into situations like this. Like I said, you can get the bloater gas through here, but sometimes it'll whack off of this or it'll hit it'll have some kind of weird collision.
Fire in the hole!
So we'll get that white phosphorus down. We'll get outside.
That definitely hurt it. Okay, I think it's on the ropes.
It's just burning away in there. There it is.
Looks like it's down for the count.
One Willy Pete grenade,
You should
guys.
see a lot fewer plague zombies around here.
Hey, yeah, be careful of that gas that lingers. At you. All right, some good stuff in there. Sure. You don't need, especially when you're on your actual killing mission, you don't have to loot. You just loot afterwards. But as you can see, the Willy Pete is just as effective as bloater gas on the lower difficulties. There's a Juggernaut, guys. It doesn't kill it as fast, but you only got to drop one and then you can keep it moving. So this one we might be able to load or gas, depends on what room it's in. Back room. Yeah, we should be good. Okay. Why? Although I'm a little skeptical on. Now, if I'm gonna bloater gas this one, I definitely want to make sure I aim for that top because you don't want to have that gas anywhere in this AO. It potentially choke you out. So I'm gonna aim for that back corner up there. Realistically, I should probably just throw a Willy Pete and be done with it. But I want to get this bloater gas down. I don't know, maybe in that back corner over here. So I want to make sure that the gas gets ignited by the flare. So we should be back far enough. We might take some damage here. This is a lesson. Go flare down. Gas out. It's close.
Feels good to reclaim some territory.
Definitely singed our eyebrows. As you can see, stuff there.
Hey, that place has gotta have some things we need. That's darn good. Lead on.
So, mission just spawned in there as we walked away.
Calm down. We still got one more place to hit. Should be a gold mine.
So I want to get an outpost up over here. I'm going to actually tear down... Which one did we just do? This post office. And, get a, like, maybe a food spot right here or something. Just so I could take care of my survivors' inventories and stuff. How are we doing right in the value wagon right here, actually? I always advise to have at least one outpost per town.
I can't keep going.
I'm about to switch off this heavy weapon right now because I don't need it for what we're doing. And I'm actually going to switch over to my trader leader. So we can have her... you know what? I think I might do a warlord. For this series. I might do a warlord finish. Yeah, you know what? Let's do a warlord.
Another outpost secure. We're in business, but it could be even better if we put some extra work into it.
Let me see. So I got to check and see which one of my survivors is even warlord capable. Builder, trader, trader. All right, so Rihanna it is. We got to get her ranked up. Best way to do that is have her be the one killing the plague hearts. Let's see what her... So she's... Whipped. Guns. Stamina. Healing. So the scent block, guys. I guess we could do one plague heart with that. Why not? show you guys kind of how it works. I have a carry that out.
This might be too much to carry.
And we'll grab the scent block. And that should be good. Oh. Yeah, so they want better to travel to speak to them about their new zombie trapping material. They need okay. Zombie trapping materials. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. Let's make some more progress on these plague hearts. So as you can see, once you have equipment, guys, on the standard zone difficulty, it's quite easy to just take the fight to the hearts, kill them all pretty quick. As you go up in the difficulties, there's going to be way more plague hearts. Like, I think this playthrough here only had maybe like 11 plague hearts, if not even, maybe 9. Lethal zone, you're talking like 25 plus per map. So you're going to have a lot and they're harder to kill.
I got problems.
It's a network trader, which we already hit up. Excuse me. But yeah, the plague hearts are a little harder to kill, on top of the fact that there's way more of them, and you'll face more and more as the difficulties go up.
My skin is crawling. Must be a plague heart nearby.
Loader, so we're gonna pop him. So we can get in here and kill this so super fast. Flare.
I'm almost out of that.
Grenade.
Won't bother anybody ever again. You know, I feel safer already.
Let's look and see what we got. Pretty cool stuff. It's a good gun in there, actually. The zombies are all going to be drawn to the distractions because we're on a lower difficulty. Oh. A visual thing. It's like, what the hell is going on? Another enclave asking us for food. That's a new group, though. But yeah, I would say your goal as a newer player would be to try to get into the dread zone as soon as possible, because that's where you're going to start feeling the game difficulty spike a little bit. There's a pretty decent difficulty spike from standard to dread, and then nightmare lethal are obviously both pretty good spikes in difficulty. But the spike from nightmare to lethal is really big, guys. A huge difference between the two.
Loader, don't let it get too close.
All the other difficulty, it's kind of like a steady like incline, but with nightmare to lethal, it's literally like an incline and then it just like shoom. Like most people will consider lethal zone unfair in its balancing, which a lot of the aspects of the lethal zone are some of the aspects are quite imbalanced when you're not used to them. There's a couple things like the zombie screams is the one thing I don't like. Every zombie is practically a damn screamer in Lethal Zone. It's kind of ridiculous. So for this plague heart here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip this heavy weapon.
This might be too much.
And I'm going to use this scent block. Now, you got to be careful when using scent block because what it does is it actually partially infects you with blood plague. Now, I have some resistances. No, she doesn't have the resistance. One of my people I thought had a resistance. Maybe not. So when we pop this, it's going to partially infect us. Now, it's not going to give us the full blood plague, as you guys will see here.
Dang, that was the last of those.
About a quarter. So you got to be careful when you are using this. But now what happens?
I'm never gonna get the stink out of my clothes.
I walk in here, and you guys can see I'm invisible to the zombies. Now, if you get too close to them, they will still detect you. Like, you gotta, like, literally bump into them. You see how eventually she recognized that I wasn't a zombie? But now that I'm invisible like this, I can just sit here and hit the plague heart melee.
Okay, this is heavy.
But this is the power of scent block, guys. You can come in.
It's in bad shape. Gotta keep at it.
As you guys can see, it's getting a little thick in here. If I wanted to, if I had some firecrackers, could throw those outside. Now, scent blocks will last about 5 minutes. Now, realistically, what you should do is just throw some fire. Get everybody dead like that. No point in going in and doing melee, risking getting hurt. But yeah, with this scent block on, you're completely invisible. Unless you, like I said, walk right up on top of them or get too close to ferals. Ferals are pretty good.
Nearby. No place can really be secure.
Ferals are pretty good at detecting you if you get too close to them. All right, literally think we have one plague heart left, guys. As you guys can see, it's been quite the cakewalk.
We're down to just one more plague heart.
Okay, so now she is available to be a leader. We're going to promote her to our leader. Now, you need to have a leader in order to get into the end game content of State of Decay 2. But because we're going the Warlord route, it's going to be more focused against versus human enemies. Now, the zombies will hear the car, obviously, but when you get out, you can see they have no clue I'm here.
I gotta do this. People are counting on me. Of course it's...
Smash down the door. They don't know where I am. Easy play card to finish the game off, guys. Blair. There it is.
Get us down while I was out.
And just like that, phase 1 is done. Plague hearts are killed.
Too much to carry.
That's the first part of beating State of Decay, is killing all the plague hearts on your map. And once you do that, you'll start seeing a new quest line pop up. But we no longer have to worry about the blood plague. You still will have hordes of blood plague traversing the map. but no longer will you have the plague territory where you'll have to worry about all blood plague zombies in there. You'll have your horde from time to time, but for the most part, the risk of blood plague is quite low once you get to this stage of the game on standard zone. And in the higher difficulties, you still have to worry about the blood plague freaks. Could have just went up the other way. Oh, no, we could take the river. This map's river is actually a really nice traversal spot. The devs were so worried about people getting their car stuck that they made it almost impossible to get your car stuck. And then even if you do, there is, say you do get your car stuck, guys, doing something foolish, come down here and there's a stuck command that you can use that will free up your car. Now, it does use fuel when you do that, but yeah, the devs definitely made it pretty hard to get your vehicle stuck in the first place. Now, there is a rare weapon case over here somewhere. This is where I am on the map currently. Yep, right here.
Nice.
Nice, got a rebar blade. One of the better bladed weapons in the game. High durability. Really, really high durability. But yeah, you can follow this river right back up to base. As you guys know, our base is right off of this. And there's no deep water in State of Decay. 1 and 2. I don't know what they plan on doing with 3, but in 1 and 2, there's no deep water. Up right here. Seeing there's a feral over there. It's going to probably follow me back to base. But now my scent block is off. Like I showed you guys. Oh, he gave up his chase already. What we can do is just hit a far shot. Drop him. Far shot on that screamer. Like, yo, why isn't it going in the base? Because that wasn't parked. Car was not parked. Now, I do have a little bit of blood plague on me. Now, blood plague I haven't really talked about because I've kind of showed you guys how to avoid it. But when you do have a little bit of infection like we do now, there is a couple of different ways you can swap out that survivor.
The Red Talon facility at Crow Lake is now secure and operational. Now we just have to repeat that effort in every town, suburb, and city from coast to coast. We'll take our inspiration from all of you out there doing the hard work of rebuilding. We can do this, people. Together, we will take this country back.
So yeah.
I'll say this. Those Red Talons sure know how to get the job done.
Can I talk? Am I good? All right. There's a couple different ways you can get it off of you. You can swap off the survivor and just let them it does go away on its own, slowly. Or you can put them in the infirmary in the blood plague bed. You know how in the beginning of the game I showed, like when a person was infected, you could put them in these beds to like stop the infection from killing them. This bed also speeds up the recovery of the partial infection. So you throw them in there, let them heal up, and that will work. Or if you don't have time for that and you need to play with that survivor right now, what you can do is you come over to medical help in your infirmary, all right? And then you can use what's called infection therapy. Now, what this does is it will just use it. It spends plague samples and instantly will get rid of that for you. There's a couple of features in the infirmary that do that. So you can do the same thing with your health. The infirmary also has some buffs, and this is something that we haven't really discussed. This is getting more into like advanced things. This stuff you guys kind of just got to take your time, read what everything does. This is primary care. So what this does is it increases your maximum health for an hour and a half by 35. Pretty big health boost, but you got to spend medicine in order. You can actually make this buff better by having people with certain, like if you have a surgeon in your community or a pathologist in your community, you'll start getting like plague resistance with this buff and injury resistance. So primary care is a pretty powerful buff if you have medics and stuff like that in your group. You have boost injury and trauma recovery. So if you have a bunch of people that are really, really banged up, like with injuries and traumas, you could use this, but you need a surgeon, and this will have them recovering faster. And then same thing, you can boost infection recovery. If you have a ton of people that are partially infected, not fully infected, partially infected, you can do this, and that will kind of get your whole entire group healing back up. So say you had a really bad base siege or something like that, and like you had 8 people and 6 of them are partially infected, 1 of them has blood plague, you can activate all of these to kind of do like a quick recovery situation. That's what those are for. All right, so our leader goal hasn't popped up yet. Sometimes what you have to do is you actually have to swap off of the leader, and then it'll activate. So we'll kind of just put her on the bench, and we'll go do some missions for other peeps while we wait. Ooh, got a specialize.
Ugly work, but there's not a single damn plague heart left in town. So what's next?
Now we
right
move
there.
on to rebuilding this town. I may have a couple of ideas for that.
All right, so this is how you start the end game stuff, guys. So a new beginning. Talk to 2 of your community members about how we defeated blood plague. So you just go up to any 2 of your peeps, have a little chat with them. You just tell them this option. You helped make this happen. Now we secure the entire town.
Hey there, stranger.
Hey, see you later.
Yeah, talk to Nikki. And then this one, we beaten back the blood plague. Now it's time to take what's ours.
That's great.
Beautiful. So now that mission is done and I have my leader, one of the things I wanted to show you guys is the large facility slots. So there's a couple different things that you could build in these. This is a staging area. You can do this, which increases speeds up your build time. So generally, if you're moving into, like, say you're moving into a really, really big base.
Doing all right out there? Still getting shit done?
You're moving into a really, really big base. Kind of like when we moved from our starter base to here, you got to get your stuff built quick. You know, you want to get back to, because if I moved out of this, say this base into here, I would lose all my facilities. Everything would have to be rebuilt. What you can do is the staging area speeds all that up. Okay. And it also removes the maintenance cost for all of your facilities to 0. So what that means is to have this level 2 infirmary working, I come over here, you look at your materials, or no, the beds are costing materials. Some things cost materials to upkeep on a daily basis. And what that does, that the staging area does here, is it gets rid of that cost, makes it 0. So you no longer have to worry about that. You can build a forge, which allows you to craft like really cool apocalyptic melee weapons. They're okay. The rebar blade is one of them. There's like the transmission mace, the crow's beak. There's a couple cool weapons that you can craft in there. Not super necessary, but if it's definitely something you're interested in, check it out. Obviously the auto shop, which we already have one because this base came with it. You can build barracks, which holds 4 beds. Really good if you're having bed issues and you don't want to use outposts. You can build barracks here. You can do a farm. You could do a lounge, which is more geared towards morale, keeping your people happy. A haven device, which is not as good as it used to be, but this is something you get from the Trumbull Valley storyline. When you play through that, you'll at the end of it unlock this here. It's a pretty cool like base defense thing. It's really bad right now. I feel like they need to tweak it a little bit more. But yeah, it helps you with sieges. And then you have your solar array here, which is it works like a generator, but it's free. You don't have to spend gas or anything like that. And it's silent. So I've actually never built one of those before, like ever. And then you get into your leader buildings. Every leader, like I said, trader, sheriff, builder, and warlord, they all have their own thing. And then you get into the daybreak facilities, which is something that's quite advanced. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the armory, because I already know that the warlord, I think the warlord missions require you to build the armory anyways. All right, so that's going to take about 25 minutes. And now we're going to head out and, ooh, Mysterious Wandering Trader. Now that we're endgame, I guess we can go check that out. In the beginning of the game, we talked about this trader. Now, this is one of the greatest traders in the game. Has really rare gear. Very expensive, though. It is very expensive to buy this stuff from them, but it's some of the best gear in the game. And they have a lot of influence, so you can sell to them too. I think I might have made it to a trader earlier in the game. I don't remember. Wow. High morale. We just got a free spec ops. Got 2 of those. These are pretty rare guns. So I just want to make sure that they're repaired. Swap over to a blade. Ring has pretty good lethality. Actually, some of the highest lethality. I'm gonna grab a little bit of extra ammo. Now, we're headed to a trader, so obviously I want to check to see if I have anything I want to sell. Not really.
All right, folks, we've got the gear.
But to rule this town, we need training. School is in session.
Okay, so we got our first leader mission. I'm gonna do that once I gear him up. And fire. Yeah, we'll roll with that. That's a good inventory. All right, so really quickly, we'll swap over to her. See what she wants. So she wants us to build a fighting gym.
Crap. It's a feral.
Which kind of sucks, because I don't have any space. I don't know if you can build fighting gyms inside. They might have to be outside. So, as you guys can see here, this is where I was talking about where you start running into issues with your base. You don't kind of have enough space for anything. So, like for instance, I'm running this generator here. I really don't have space for it. So what I could do is get rid of this generator and go out and get a power outpost. So that's what I'm going to end up having to do. So we'll remove the Jenny. Build this fighting gym.
No more waiting. I'm on the job.
Okay. Now I no longer have a base power. But I think there's a power substation quite close by. Okay, we got this one over here. Now these are quite endgame. These substations. There's 2,000 influence to buy one. That's no joke. You know what I mean? But I got about 5,000 influence. Plus, we're about to go meet up with that trader. So I am going to grab some stuff we could sell. I'll do some jugs of ethanol. These sell really, really well.
It's gonna slow me down.
We'll also do chemicals because these also sell really, really well. Now, these are good for crafting, so you don't want to get rid of these probably as much as I am. Mini fridge, you know I'm never going to use that. I know I'm never going to use that sanitizer machine. No, I don't need that anymore. So these are quite decent. I'm going to get rid of this computer's book. Should fetch us a decent bit of influence. First things first, go get this power outpost. Now, what a power outpost does, like I said, is it gives you base-wide power. You don't have to worry about turning it on, nothing. You'll always have power, but it does cost fuel every day to have that running. So as you guys can see, the difficulty spiked a bit because we killed all the plague hearts. Now we have juggernauts that you're starting to see a little more frequent. You'll start seeing ferals more frequent, freak zombies more frequent.
I bet we could hold off a horde from inside this place. Time for an outpost.
All right. So as you guys can see, it consumes 2 fuel every day, which isn't a big deal. We could easily keep that.
We just finished building another outpost.
But now we got fuel or power. Empty this place out while we're here.
More of the same.
A lot of circuitry. Alright, now we'll head down to the trader. You know what? Let me grab gas real quick. I just noticed we're at about half a tank. So we'll top off. Now, when I'm driving, at this point in the game, like I said, you're going to see a lot more freaks. So you got to stay conscious of bloaters. You don't want to hit those. Out in the southern part. Now, this town down here, guys, actually has a police station in it. Another good place to go loot for guns, ammo, and stuff like that. I'll show you where it is. Right here on the corner. In the difficulty we're on right now, it's not a huge deal because, as you guys know, we have guns already for days. In the higher difficulties, though, where guns and ammo are a bit more scarce, definitely a good place to go check.
Hello? Anyone home?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not here. Time to keep looking.
Hello.
She is. All right, easy enough. Put the car over there. Really, zombie?
We're really making this place better. One step at a time.
Now, one of the cool things about Powerhouse, once we actually max it out, you get access to be able to just grab zombies from the front. As you guys know right now, you can't grab a zombie from the front. You have to grab it from behind. But when you max out Powerhouse, it does allow you to front grab zombies, which is amazing. I actually had somebody in the comments, which it's personal preference at the end of the day. There is no right or wrong answer. But somebody said that Powerhouse is not the best skill in the game. Talking about acrobatics and marathon, and you hear this a lot. My only argument to that is what works for you works for you. It is what it is. But there's no way that people can dismiss Powerhouse, because marathon can be mimicked. Acrobatics minus the roll can be mimicked, and backpacking minus the extra inventory slot can be mimicked. All of that stuff, especially on lower difficulties, can be mimicked with one item, stem, like an energy drink or a stim. I pop a stim, I have infinite stamina. I pop a stim, I can dodge around infinitely for however long that item lasts. I can mimic the effect of all of those skills, but you can't mimic the effects of Powerhouse. There's no consumable in the game that will give you the ability to drop kick. There's no consumable in the game that allows you to grab and push and throw zombies harder. There's no consumable in the game that allows you to grab zombies from the front.
Keep going.
Or be proficient with heavy weapons, or there is no way to replicate the effects of Powerhouse, which is what makes it super unique compared to the other skills. Because I can mimic every single other cardio skill in the game, their benefits, by just popping a stim. So why would I not want to go for Powerhouse, have all these unique skills, and then just use stims and still get the benefits of all those other skills? You know what I mean? And that's just my outtake on it. Obviously, you guys can do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, that's what makes Powerhouse so much better than the other skills, in my opinion.
Trade?
Why not?
Okay, here we go. So, grenade launcher. If you guys are in the market for some grenade launcher fun, you can buy one of those. Some skill books. These are retrain manuals. So, say the person that you're playing on got a skill that you didn't like. Bring up the skill menu so you guys can see. Say you didn't want swordplay, or you didn't want resourcefulness, or you didn't want Powerhouse. You could buy one of these books.
Are you up for some trading?
Why not?
Like the cardio book here. I could buy this, read it, and what it would do is actually will reset that Powerhouse or resourcefulness. It'll reset the skill, and then it allows you to repick what skill you want, but it gives you access to every possible. So say you had somebody with swordplay, but you want striking. You could read the combat book. It'll erase that swordplay skill and then allows you to go ahead and choose what skill you want at that point. And they have them for everything. The only things you can't retrain are your 5th skills. Once your person's a cook, they're a cook. That's it. Undead Labs never implemented anything that allows you to change that. But let's sell everything. I don't really want to buy anything right now. We already have one of these 50 cals. I don't use grenade launchers. I was thinking about buying one just for the shits and giggles, though.
No,
Yeah, screw it. Let's buy
quite
one.
a load.
Never really used a grenade launcher, so. Okay, so now, as you can see, my Warlord mission, they want me to upgrade the fighting gym to level 2. So let's make sure we do that. So we're spending away some of those resources. Carport actually has some materials in it. Remember, if there's, because we're right near the trade, if there's stuff you loot that you don't want, hey, just sell it right away.
If any of you could give us a hand, we'd appreciate it.
As I pick up materials, a material mission pops up. Now there are these also the plague hearts that have tons of loot in them that we could go hit. But that's one of the actually the downsides to the lower difficulties. And on my first guide I ever did on my channel, I actually played with a lethal zone map. Now the reason why I did that was because in the lower difficulties, the amount of loot that you're just drowned with, I barely looted this map, as you guys can see. Like, there's just loot everywhere. But if you go look at my supply locker, I have everything I need. If you look at my resource numbers, like, we're just bursting at the seams. I could barely hold this stuff, and there's loot still just everywhere. Like, I barely looted anything. On top of plague hearts, with every plague heart that we killed has a rucksack, guns, stamina items. Like, they're all full of loot. And I have enclaves I could trade with everywhere. There's just resources everywhere. The only part of the map that's empty is where we started off. But once we got out of there, as you guys can see, we're bursting at the seams with resources now. And it kind of trivializes loot at a certain point on the lower difficulties. But when you're playing on the higher difficulties, so a lot of buildings will be pre-looted. Like, before you even go in it, it'll just be empty. And lethal zone's really bad. So I actually try to teach newer players to get used to playing like that. So when you get in the higher difficulties, one of the hardest things for people to get used to is the lack of loot. You're so used to just it being everywhere that you don't learn how to go outside of the box and find loot, because there's other ways to get loot. Like, for instance, like, oh my, hey man, there's no ammo anywhere on this map. Like, what happens when you hit all the ammo spots and none of the none of the army spots are available or anything like that? How else can I get that ammo? And when you play on the lower difficulties, there's nothing that teaches you how to, like, adjust to that. Or so, for instance, if you really ran into a situation with ammo, you got the radio call in here where you can locate ammo on the map. You call this in, it goes on cooldown, boom, it'll spawn in a rucksack somewhere on the map that you can go loot. You can obviously use your trade partners. Go around, check their inventory, see if they have any ammo for sale. Or that's when you start getting into things like this, where you start producing and crafting your own bullets, going out, getting outposts to produce resources. There's multiple different ways to get resources outside of looting, but because the early difficulties absolutely drowned you in loot, you'll never get used to using those. So once you do get in the higher difficulties, you're gonna hit a wall where you're like, man, wait, I can't find any food, man. Like, where do I go to get food? Because you're so used to just looting it and looting it and looting it. So who knows? Maybe that's why I will look at doing a higher difficulty guide, but I don't know. Like I said, the game does change up quite a bit in the higher difficulties. Let's get back to base. Scanning for those bloaters. Yeah, I remember some playthroughs, guys. You get so much loot, especially on like forever communities and stuff. I wasn't even fully looting play cards. I'd go grab a couple things out of them that I needed, and then I would just leave the rest of it there because you just have so much stuff.
Done and done.
Oh.
We're really turning this place around. Time to sharpen my skills.
So I believe the mission wants me to...
I don't think so.
So I gotta kill 10 zombies.
Oh, right in the head.
It's a part of the Endgame mission.
I got more where that came from.
Now it says by using melee weapons for your kills, but you can kill the zombies with frickin' anything and it still counts.
Can't do it. I'm a lean, mean killing machine. Time to put him away.
Keep training, everyone. We're getting stronger all the time. This is how we reclaim this town.
Okay, clean them up. Mission done. Now we shouldn't... Yep, now we just gotta wait for the next part of it to pop up. So if you are starting to play the game and you're starting to get comfortable, and you feel like, man, you know, there is a lot of loot. I don't really feel that struggle for resources. One of the things you can do is up the map difficulty. Not that like, and I'll show you guys when we get back to base. Got turned around right there. But yeah, if you guys are getting feeling like, you know, you don't feel that survival aspect of the game, because trust me, it's there, guys. You might have to change your map difficulty. The game just might be a little easy for you when it comes to loot. You could leave everything, the zombies, how they are, the community, the costs, how they are, but go ahead and just make the map have less loot and more play cards. Really, it doesn't, I promise it doesn't make the game like harder in an annoying way. It makes it just feel more of like a survival game. It's a really good feel.
I'm heading out.
Got this grenade launcher, guys. We could... Now, that Juggernaut down there, like I said, there's multiple different ways you can kill the Juggernauts. That 50 cal sniper rifle that we found.
One day at a time, right?
That is one of my main ways of doing it. I just got a grenade launcher for the first time ever. Like, not ever, but I don't use these very often, so I kind of wanted to see how well it does against the Juggernaut. Let's pop down there and test it out real quick.
Fire in the hole!
Now, what's so OP about this grenade launcher is the zombies react to where the grenade explodes, not to where you shoot it from, so that is pretty effective. Yeah, so grenade launcher is probably the strongest weapon against them. It hits harder than even the 50 cals does. Now, the upkeep of this gun would be quite expensive, because you would have to find a special...
Somebody back the base you should listen to.
You'd have to find a special crafting mod that allows you to craft the grenades, but because we have this armory now built for my warlord, we'll jump here and check this out. So this costs 1 materials a day. This gives us access to like crafting pro grade weapon attachments, so pro suppressors. You need knowledge of engineering though. Pro brakes, pro chokes. Look, you can craft all of the different explosives and stuff like that in here. Landmines, C4, all the throwables, hand grenades. You can't craft those in a workshop, so that's pretty cool that you're able to do it in here. Napalm, the only thing you can't craft is Willy Pete, but you can do thermite, stuff like that. A lot of really heavy hitters there. You can still break your weapons down. Here you can repair your stuff, so you can actually probably get rid of a workshop. I could easily get rid of my workshop right now, because the only thing my workshop does is it gives me access to all that stuff, and the crafting of the toolkits. But I have that with these two facilities, so realistically I don't need this workshop. So that's just a thought. But then the main part of this, baby, is you come right here. You can craft every ammo type in the game. So 3 40mm grenades, which is this is why I was saying it's expensive, guys. 3 ammo. So it's 1 ammo per grenade. Now, granted, I do got a lot of ammo, and there's a lot of ammo on the map. So it's not an end of the world. It's not a super big deal. But as you guys can see, I shot 4 grenades there to kill that Juggernaut. I think every time I pull the trigger on that grenade launcher, my base ammo goes down by 1. Not literally, but just in the ammo sense, it's quite expensive. 50 cal rounds are a little better in this difficulty. It's 6, so it's in that lethal zone, it's 1 for 1 also. But in here, it's 2 for 1, so that's not bad. Okay, so now the Warlord missions are actually starting up, the actual quest line, but we're going to save that for next episode.
That's a lot to carry around.
Save that for next episode, and we'll get into the endgame stuff. I'll start showing you guys
I think we're gonna be all right.
one of the ways to finish the game, and we'll go from there. But again, thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching this. We're getting close to the end, so hey, remember, if you're enjoying this, smash that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing. It helps out so much. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.